on, let me switch this over. No one needs to see my ugly face that big. How are you all? Good to have you. Good to see you. Let me get something set up here for you all. Hey, good to see everyone in the chat. Let me get this done. Hold on. Let's get this set up. How is everyone? Come in, sit down. Sit down, everyone. All right, college senior. Yep. Okay. All right, now you guys can see my ugly face. All right, guys, here we are. Oh, Elaine. Hey, Elaine. How are you? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Have a nice sleep. You thought the music was a horn. What kind of horn? A horn of a truck? Why do people message me while I'm doing stuff? It's an ad. Hey, good to see you all. DJ was here earlier. He's giving you times. Laura T. Beth B. Hey, Beth B. How are you? Who's a girl? How are you? OG Woos, the original. Laura G and Laura T. We have both Lauras. Lynn, Betty C. Sienna, Jojo, Elaine. Edget's here. Hey, Edget. Good to see you. Hey, Diamond Heart. Glad you could make it. All right. Let's get started. First story. Everyone, this is the story that's going around everywhere right now. We'll talk about it. We've got a lot of stories, unfortunately, to get to tonight. So this might be a quicker one, but it says a family is frantically searching for their son, a University of Missouri student who hasn't been seen since last Friday after leaving a Broadway bar. Metro Police report Riley Strain, 22, left Luke Bryan's bar at 301 Broadway intoxicated after he was asked to leave. He's a senior at the university majoring in finance. As of Monday, he's been missing for 3 days. That's not good. It says he traveled with his fraternity brothers to Nashville for a convention. He told his friends he'd walk back to their hotel, the Tempo by Hilton, about 5 blocks away. The bar staff felt he'd had too much to drink, according to his family. His stepfather, Chris, said there was no hostility. The bartender said he'd been overserved and he was trying to pay his tab. However, it appears he went in the opposite direction when he left about 9:45 p.m. His cell phone last pinged around 10 to 10:30 p.m. near Public Square Park, close to Gay Street and the river. They said, "This is definitely the worst nightmare. He talks to his mum 3 or 4 times a day. For him to go this long without talking is not normal by any means." And his mum says, "He's my baby." So apparently his phone pinged on the Life 360 and Snapchat apps and from Verizon's tower about 30 to 45 minutes after he left the bar. However, his phone has not been active since. That's very concerning, right? He would have been out, drinking or whatever. His phone wouldn't have died only an hour after he left the bar. That doesn't sound quite right. He would have had hours of charge left. You'd think so anyway. It says these are some photos of him. A nice looking young man. Here's some, blown up photos for you. Different angles. That's a great photo of him. It says WZTV Fox 17 News in Nashville says we've obtained more photos of missing man Riley Strain. Police said he was last seen Friday night after getting kicked out of the bar on Lower Broadway. It says Verizon provided police with the last known location of Riley's phone. It pinged 0.64 miles southwest of the cell tower located at 19 Oldham Street. When Strain's friends returned to the hotel later that night, they assumed he was in another room. However, the next morning when they realized he had not returned, they called his parents and police. His father says, "We just want to find him. We want to be able to take him home." It says his family immediately drove from Missouri when they were told he was missing. Metro Police and his relatives combed nearby streets downtown, parking garages, hospitals along the river. However, there's been no reported sighting of the young man, who is quite a tall guy, 6 feet 7 inches. So he's a tall, uh, they say about 160 pounds. So for 6'7", he's a bit of a lanky dude. It says here, so Riley is going to the tower and stand. He's going to tower and stand out in a crowd. His dad said he's got a big personality and doesn't really know a stranger. He can walk up and talk to anybody. They said, please, if you know anything, please call police. They said they just want to find him, just want to be able to take him home. Now, I was looking at some information about this, and I'm going to read something else here. I have it. Where is it? Where are my links? Here. Metro Nashville PD released a statement about, what was it, about an hour ago, saying they are still looking for him. Apparently, they checked all jails, hospitals, and morgues in the city. There's no sign of anyone who matches this description. They've been searching all day, and what was their last one? They said detectives are on the ground, have also searched but haven't found anything. The investigation into his whereabouts is still active, and that was just an hour ago on their X or Twitter page, whatever you want to call it. They're saying that they even have a helicopter that searched today in the area. An NMPD helicopter searched around the locations today, along with detectives on the ground, and they can't find anything. So that is very, very concerning. Nonalana says, I can't believe we have another person gone in Nashville. It's concerning. Tennessee's having a lot of missing people. There was 2 more the other week that we never, don't have any answers to even right now. Hey, oh, is Julie here? Hey, Julie. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. Hope you're having a great Tuesday, Monday. What day is it for you? Monday. Where is this? Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville. So at least that's what they're telling me. Oh, you want like the more specific area? Okay, hold on. It's up here. So they said leaving a Broadway bar, Luke Bryan's bar at 301 Broadway. Where is this? Let's have a look. 301 Broadway. 301 Nashville Broadway? Okay. So it's in the city, but what is concerning, just 2 blocks away is a big ass river that runs through the city, the Cumberland River. I always worry about young men who are intoxicated and water. Anytime you get young people, even women, but a lot of the times men, intoxicated near big areas of water, you've got to be so concerned, is the word I would use. So yeah, he was only 2 blocks uh, from the water in the sort of downtown area of Nashville. So the area that says here, I'm probably not reading this right, but it says it's described as Sobro. I'm not sure if that includes the block that he was on. He was a little further down, but they called it in the article Broadway. So there you go. Let me see if you guys have any other questions. Jojo says nothing good happens at rivers at night. Well, yes, that's not good. Missouri is where his parents came from to come look for him. That's where they came from. They traveled from Missouri to come into Nashville to look for him after they were alerted that he was missing. They came in from out of town. Yeah, I can tell you. See, Strain's family drove immediately from Missouri when they were told he was missing. So they drove quite a distance to come into town to try find him. So he was with his fraternity brothers to Nashville for a convention, and they were staying at the Tempo by Hilton. Tempo by Hilton. All right, hold on. Let's see. What's the distance to his... What's the distance in the map? No, you're not gonna give it to me? Okay, I found it. Okay, so yeah, his hotel is not that far away from the bar. I'm not sure if I can show you this. Okay, actually, I can probably show you this way. Hold on. Let me take a photo of this, and then I'll put it up on the screen and I'll show you. Yep. Let me get into our photos here, and then I'll show you the distances. As long as it wants to upload. All right. So that's Luke 32. That's the bar down here, apparently, or at least this is where my directions sent me. 301. And this is the Tempo by Hilton, Nashville downtown. It's not that far away. It's like zero point 0.5 miles. He could have, I don't know why it took me this route, I guess for a car, but he probably would have just walked straight up this street and then turned right. But as you can see, if you go the other direction, which I think it says he turned the wrong direction, there's this big river, the Cumberland River, that comes through just 2 blocks down. That's pretty concerning. Anytime you get water, it's not great. Thank you, Maria. I appreciate it. Share Bear says, I'm in Missouri in the Mystery Mobile. Do you remember my van ping? I remember you had a van. I don't remember what it looked like. If it looks like the Mystery Mobile, that's pretty good. Dan Yee. Hey, Dan Yee. Dan Yee says, heads up, y'all. I was unsubscribed. Check your status, please. I don't know why this is happening, but we've had this a lot with people where they'll swear they had been subscribed and then all of a sudden they'll come back one day and they're unsubscribed. Have no idea why it's happening but apparently it's happening to a lot of people on YouTube, like a lot of creators. So I don't understand how to fix it. All I can tell you to do is just check. Shad, hey Shad, good afternoon or good evening to you, sir. Gambler says, I heard somewhere that men sometimes, when drunk, have fallen while standing at the edge of water urinating. You heard that from me. I think I spoke to you about that when when the in Texas they had all the men that ended up in the water. I think it was something that I I said, but it is a thing. It is a thing. It is a thing some men can get, but it's I can't say it would account for hundreds of men a year falling into water, but it might actually happen to a couple of people a year. Hey Robin, how are you? Good to see you all. All right, let's keep going. Sorry about the interruption. Apparently, people on Reddit had been talking about this. They posted on Reddit very early on. It was how many days ago was this? Maybe not that actually not that long ago. Maybe like a day ago. They were said Riley was last seen on the 8th of the 3rd at approximately 10 p.m. in downtown Nashville. He was last seen wearing brown square toe boots, blue jeans, and a black and white button up shirt as seen above. So that must be this photo. Hold on, where is it? Black and white shirt. That's a black and white shirt there. So maybe that's the outfit he was wearing. Is there bigger photo of that somewhere? Here? There you go. Oh, that's not it. What happened to the photo? Yeah, it won't let you do that. Okay, well, then you're just gonna have to deal with that size. There we go. Um, that that looks like the shirt, and that's the shirt they referenced in the Reddit post. And he was wearing seeing blue jeans and a black and white button-up shirt. Okay, yeah, that's a black and white button-up shirt. Actually, let me see if I can download this one. This one looks a bit better than what we're seeing now. Let me upload this thing. Get you a better photo. Ah, man, missing people. We have so many. I feel like every week we have like 3 or 4 new ones that aren't found in like 24 hours. All right, there we go. So you can see sort of like a full-length photo. I know it's small, I'm sorry. But there you can see like the wearing brown square toe shoes. That's what he's wearing in that third photo. And a black and white button-up shirt. That's that shirt. And brown square blue jeans. He's wearing the blue jeans. This must be a photo from maybe the night out with his friends. So it's sort of very similar. Or he likes to wear the same outfit when he goes out drinking or whatever. So maybe this is what he wears on occasion. And that's him with a jumper on, I guess, to give you a different look. It says here his case number ID with the Metro Nashville Police Department is 24-016, or we can do 24-01657552. So apparently, yeah, missing. Horrible. We don't want missing people. We want people to be home with their families. That's what we want. All right. Is this a little video about him? Or is it just some photos? Let's see.
New tonight, a family frantically searching for their 22-year-old son, a University of Missouri student who has not been seen since Friday after he left a bar here on Broadway. Now, Riley Strain left Luke Bryan's bar off of 3rd Street there, drunk, according to his friends. Riley said that he was walking back to his hotel several blocks away here, but instead it appears that he went in the
I'll just break in. That is that hotel that I showed you up about, what, 4 blocks up or 4 or 5 blocks up from where he was last seen at that bar. But apparently, yeah, he turned the opposite direction. You can see on this map she's going to show you. So if you're wondering why it looks different.
Wrong direction. Riley's cell phone last pinged near Public Square Park over here, close to the river. That's where we find Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino joining us live. She had a chance to speak with Riley's family. And Kelly, they are certainly desperate to find him.
Absolutely, Megan. It has been a harrowing 3 days for Riley Strain's family. When they found out he was missing, they immediately got in the car and drove 6 hours from Missouri here to Nashville to help find him. Now, I can tell you, any last trace of Riley was right in this area, the Public Square area. Down below us is Gay Street, and beyond that is the river.
This is definitely the worst nightmare. Riley talks to us, whether it's me or to his mom. He talks to his mom 3 or 4 times a day. I mean, it's for him to go this long without talking is not normal by any means.
It's a voice Michelle Whited and her husband would give anything to hear right now.
I mean, the world, we need him back.
He's my baby. Her only son, Riley, a senior finance major at the University of Missouri, has been missing for the past 3 days since getting asked to leave Luke Bryan's bar around 9:45 Friday night.
The bartender said that he'd been overserved. He was trying to pay his tab.
Riley's stepfather, Chris Whited, says Riley spoke on the phone to his fraternity brothers after walking out of the bar, saying he was going back to the Tepa Hotel about 5 blocks away. But Riley appears to have gone in the opposite direction, his cell phone last pinging here in the Public Square Park area near Gay Street and close to the river. At about 10 to 10:30 p.m., Riley's phone registered on the Life 360 app, Snapchat, and from Verizon's tower, all in this specific area. But then nothing has been heard from Riley since for the past 3 days.
We just want to find him. We want to be able to take him home.
Riley's family arriving by Saturday morning after his friends on the trip realized he wasn't back at the hotel. Metro Police and Riley's relatives combing nearby streets, parking garages, hospitals, the river, and putting out a massive alert on social media for the young man who stands an unmistakable 6 feet 7 inches tall.
Riley's going to tower and stand out in a crowd anyways. He's got a big personality, doesn't really know a stranger.
Please, if you know anything, please call the police. Please.
And Metro Police tell me that they had the helicopter up today to help search from overhead around downtown. They're also still working to get any and all surveillance video in the downtown area. We know there's a lot to comb through. Riley's family also saying they're waiting on court documents to go through so they can have access to his Apple Watch and his bank card transactions.
You know, after seeing that area where the phone turned off, it is concerning. I was wondering, people are like, why did he go that direction? That's away from his hotel. What if someone robbed him and it wasn't him that went that direction? What if it was the person who mugged him and took his phone or something? But then where is he? You know, I just thought maybe they ran in the opposite direction to where he was going to go to get away from him. But then I was like, well, wouldn't he just be standing there with no phone? Ah, I don't know. I hate to think always the worst, right? I hate to do that because we always like to think maybe he's just stranded somewhere or lost his phone, dropped it in the water, can't figure out how to get back to his hotel because he's from out of town. I don't know. It says, yeah, so he's 5 blocks away from his hotel, but he went that opposite direction. I don't know, guys. Very, very, very strange. Just trying to see if there's any more information here. No, it doesn't seem to be. Here's some more from A Voice for the Voiceless Twitter. They do some great work. Says, please, it only takes a second to share. The willing and able can make a difference. Riley 22 was last seen. Yeah, we know that. Approximately 10 p.m. in downtown Nashville. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I hope he's not in the water. It makes, when you try and put two and two together, it makes a lot of sense. Because why would the phone just stop? And normally that's because it's gone into water. But it could be something else. Like I said, someone could have mugged him, took the phone, walked in the opposite direction. But it's all about finding out where he is. Where is Riley? That's what we need to find out. Let me see if there's anything else. Any other information that I can find for you? People magazine. They've been delving into some true crime recently. It says University of Missouri student missing after reportedly getting kicked out of Luke Bryan's bar in Nashville. I just see if this has any other information that we don't already know. Listening to his parents, though, how horrible. His mom can barely speak. She's beside herself. Police have attempted to ping Strain's phone, but with no luck. Per WZTV and WSMV-TV, police have also checked local hospitals and local jails to no avail. Surveillance footage showed Strain may have taken a wrong turn when returning to the hotel. If they have him on CCTV, wouldn't they know most of his track? You'd think in downtown Nashville, there'd be a lot of cameras, right? Especially in that sort of bar area, like, you know, nightclubs and bars and near the water too, near the bridge. There'd have to be CCTV. I mean, it might not show everything, but maybe you could follow his journey, at least for part of it. That's what I would like to see, but it does take time to get those videos from different resources, business owners, police, council, local government, that type of thing. It says here, on Monday, the University of Missouri officials released a statement saying they've been in touch with the family and authorities in Nashville who are working to find him. The safety of our community is highest priority. Our thoughts are with his family as the search continues. We will be offering any support to them that we can, and we encourage anyone who needs help to reach out to our counseling resources. And that's it. They said anyone with information about his disappearance is asked to call 615 862 8600. So there you go. Uh, Hopefully, we get some good news that he fell asleep in a park somewhere and has slept it off for 3 days. That would be good. They want me to share this link with them. Back for the replay. Are they saying that we're contributing to your paranoid thoughts and delusions, Sean? I hope that's not the case. We're a loving people here. We don't want to cause anyone any psychological distress. Jojo, hey, this is a big lawsuit. Trust me, I have 15 years of experience and he was overserved. You have to make sure they have a way home so they don't hurt themselves. Yeah, there was a girl who drank at a bar, ended up crashing her car and killing someone else, and I think she was held liable. And then they tried to sue the bar that served her. They sued the actual bar that didn't give her a way home. They let her drive in her own vehicle, and that was a big lawsuit that happened. I think it was last year. Yeah, I can look that up in a minute for you. Shebe says, "I love your your optimistic views, Ping. I just want people to go home. That's what I want." Marylander says, "Guys trying to make left turn to go onto side street wound up right in front of me, and my car went in." Oh, you're still sore from your car accident? I'm sorry that you're still suffering. In Arizona, Jojo says in Arizona, it's the server they go after, not the bar. I think this one was in California, if I remember correctly. I can't quite remember. I mean, we can look it up briefly, but I don't think it helps with this case. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, they had a thing just this year on it. It says Columbia area bar overserved alcohol to man who left and caused deadly crash, lawsuit claims. So this was January 11th. It says on Sunday, January 7th, Henry's of KC, located at 2108 State Street, announced on social media that it would be closing its doors in late January after 7 years in business. They said, due to increased liquor liability insurance, we cannot continue to operate. Now the restaurant and bar is facing a wrongful death lawsuit, accusing it of overserving a patron who was later involved in a deadly crash where a man and his granddaughter died. So there you go. They do that. They do go after the bars sometimes, but I don't think that's the case here. He was only 5 blocks and he wasn't driving. He was walking to his hotel, which tourists and when you're traveling to different cities do that all the time. They may have thought he was okay, that he was with his friends, an entire set of fraternity brothers, that he had people to care for him when he got back to the hotel. It may not have been, as a big a liability as someone who's like, I've got me keys. I'm still going to go drive home after 10 tequilas. I don't think that's possibly the same thing. All right. All right. If I hear anything else about Riley, I will bring it up for you. Even if something happens later on, we'll do the late show and I will let you know. But I think Trish and Insightful One have some more background information for you on their show. Laura G says, one in Maryland too, a truck driver died after his truck went off the Bay Bridge after being hit by a dim-witted drunk girl. Turned out she was not ever in the bar she tried to blame. Ugh. Yeah, try and get better, Marilyn. I hope you do. All right. Let's continue. So yesterday, or on the 10th, which was 2 days ago, on Sunday night in Australia, they 60 Minutes did an episode on Celeste Manno. I don't know if many of you know who that is, but Celeste's murder was one of the most brutal and shocking cases of stalking and inept police protection for a citizen I think we can, remember in Victoria. And I'm going to show you a little bit about it. They had her mum on it on the episode for Channel 9. Really interesting episode. Her mum recalls the night her daughter was killed. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So Celeste at her work, because she was pretty sure she was a manager, she had been asked to walk out a worker who had been, let go, fired, whatever word you want to use. And on her way out, they say in this episode that this particular worker kissed her on the cheek as she was getting ready to say, good luck, goodbye, I'm sorry this happened to you. And he tried to kiss her on the cheek. And this started like a year of hell that ended up in her daughter's murder. And you like to think that inside your own home you're safe, and that especially when you're with your mum. And here's a photo of Celeste and her mum. What a lovely photo. You like to think in your family home, you got your parents there, that you're safe, that you're going to be okay. Even if something bad happens, you've got your family there, you're going to be okay. But no. Over the next few months after that first incident, I'm just going to call him the man because I don't think he deserves his name to be said. He's a horrible, horrible excuse for a human. He went from, thanks for helping me out and being nice that day to me at the workplace, to stalking, harassing, and going on rants that just didn't make any sense. Celeste at no time reciprocated anything to him and basically tried to ignore him until it got to a point where they couldn't ignore it anymore. The messages he was sending through became quite vulgar, threatening, and scary. To the, at first they were just like, oh, he's just a bit of a weird guy. Just ignore him. He'll get bored, go away after a while. And it progressed to the point where, they were starting to fear for their own safety, and especially for Celeste. What if she was out somewhere and got approached by him? It could have been really bad. So she approached police. Her mom and Celeste both went to the cops and said, hey, there's this guy. He's been harassing and stalking me. He's saying all this stuff in messages to me online. And the cop turned around and basically said, oh, that's just what social media is like. If you don't like it, just ignore it. And basically, that gave the offender a green light just to do whatever he wanted, because the cops are like, no crime's been committed really that we can see. You're just going to have to deal with it. Until later on, when those messages got even worse, they went back to the same police station, spoke to them again, and got a different officer who understood what was going on and could see the signs that, hey, something's not okay here. They finally got an apprehended violence order against the murderer, and that just sent him into overdrive. It was really, really distressing to hear this on the episode on Sunday night. It really was. I'm trying to get through it a little quickly because I'm going to show you a trailer for it. Um, it got to the point where he ended up breaking into her home in the middle of the night with a hammer and a knife, and he stabbed her 26 times while she was lying in her own bed. And she died. She died that night. And he was able to escape and get away. And eventually, cops found him and put him before our courts down here in Victoria. And the family wanted a life sentence. You know, pretty egregious. He'd been stalking her, um, making her life hell for something that she'd never ever given him any interest over. No, like, not even one bit of attention. She never did anything. She just was trying to be nice to him when she was letting him out of a workplace one time. And he ended up being sentenced to 36 years behind bars, and her family believe that's not enough for the type of offense that he caused, the murder he committed, but also the harassment and stalking that he did before the murder. And they believe it should have been a life sentence. I got to agree. His crime is just it's at the maximum end of offending. It really is, and I don't understand how he was able to get only 36 years in jail. It says here, Justice Dixon had declined to sentence the man, I'm just going to call him the man, to a life sentence on February 29th after finding he had significant mental disorders which had impaired his judgment. It says here, her mother said, Celeste's mother said he deserved to spend life in prison for brutally cutting her daughter's life so short. It says the offender had worked with his victim at a call center and developed romantic feelings for her. He sent Celeste numerous messages on social media, which she politely rebuffed. He was not deterred. In July 2020, Celeste called police out of fear for her safety. Her mom said she thought, the offender or the murderer had learned his lesson and got scared not to contact her daughter ever again. Everything stops. He disappears. We literally thought it was over, she said. But around 4 months later, he tracked her down to her house, climbed through her bedroom window, and stabbed her to death. And her mom says, never ever did it occur to me that this beast would be capable of something like this. She said, the attention Celeste received from him was neither desired nor reciprocated. She said the murderer had made her daughter's life miserable, but police initially didn't take the young woman's complaint seriously. The grieving mother called for reforms of stalking laws and the way in which police respond to alleged victims. She says here, I promised Celeste that I would get her justice one way or another. The Victorian Law Reform Commission launched an inquiry in the wake of Celeste's murder, with 45 recommendations from the report since being adopted. But her mother says she's been left disappointed with the delays in the introduction of such reform since her daughter's death nearly 4 years ago. She said, I was made commitments, promises, and silly me, I believed them all. And we know that right now, if Celeste's situation was occurring in the same way, it would happen again. She's saying that those reforms are not coming quick enough and that there's women out there who may be suffering from a similar situation, and that if they approach police, they would get the same treatment that her daughter got initially. And I mean, we need to do more about this. It ties in with the whole catfishing thing as well. The catfishing laws in Australia are very weak, and it allows people to commit crimes or what should be crimes, and they're not being stopped with those either. And often they both go hand in hand as well, unfortunately. So I wanted to show you this because I thought everyone in the chat would they would like to watch this because it is very interesting. Let me grab the YouTube thing for it. If I can find the correct one. Yes, okay. Eventually it'll be on this YouTube channel, but I'll show you the little trailer here.
I just remember being asleep and I hear a million pieces of glass just crashing. Celeste! And I just ran out of bed. Celeste, sweetie, please don't leave me. Don't leave me. Oh my God, he killed her!
Sunday on 60 Minutes.
It's outrageous, absolutely unbelievable that the court decided to grant him mercy, even though he showed Celeste none. See, Dimity, the more I was learning, the angrier I was becoming. There is nothing that is about the victim. The victim doesn't exist. I was made commitments, promises, and silly me, I believed it all.
On 9 and 9 Now.
Let me put the link in the chat. Hopefully in the next 2 days it'll be up on their YouTube. It only aired on Sunday night. So hopefully you guys could is it on here? Let's have a look. There's under investigation. There's the sneak peek for Celeste. It doesn't seem like they've uploaded it yet, unfortunately. Not quite yet. Let me just switch pages for you. All right, there we go. Yeah, I found it very interesting. I gave it a watch the other night, and I think it highlights when people are at their wits' ends with something like a stalker like that, and then they take that courage to go to police. It's a scary experience if you've never had much dealing with police, and you're like, there's something in my life that's out of control. Now I have to go to police and ask them for help because I can't protect myself any longer. And then when you get there, they basically tell you to go away and deal with it on your own. That must be a very, confusing experience, but also an experience that leaves you very vulnerable because you're like, who's going to protect me if this escalates, like even further? So I agree with her mum. There needs to be more done, more oversight, especially for people who have been convicted or look like they're on that path of stalking. They never change. It's something inherent inside them. They'll stalk one woman. I don't know. Maybe they'll get bored of that one eventually, and then they go to another one, and it keeps going. Or you end up in this case where he breaks into their family home and kills her. I mean, it's the ultimate breach of, your house is your sanctuary, isn't it? And to be murdered in your own bed where you are sleeping is the ultimate betrayal, and it's horrible. Really is. Really, really is. So yeah, give that a watch. I thought it was very interesting to hear directly from her mum, and I thought she was a very well-spoken lady for someone who's gone through something that horrific. I mean, I can't even imagine what it was like for her to wake up, hear that noise, rush to her daughter's bedroom and find her dead, being stabbed to death, and go, what is going on here in the middle of the night? Why is there blood and glass everywhere? I mean, I can't even begin to imagine. So let me see what you guys have to say. Hey, Penguin. Shebe says, I've watched it, Ping. If you can't be safe in your own home. I know, I don't. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Sean says, my group therapist thinks this is a good social exercise for the group. Such a supportive group here. No audio, by the way. Okay. Have fun. Have fun and get healthy. Hey, Emily. How are you? Good to see you. I'm here for the end. The end of the world? Okay, we can be here till the end of the world. Hey, Alicia. How are you? Trying to rally and get off the couch. Oh, I'm sorry you're having a lupus flare up. Okay, let's talk about this. Sebastian Rogers. His father spoke with this guy, Nick Beres, on Nashville Channel 5, and there was supposed to be an exclusive interview tonight. It was at 7 p.m., but it doesn't look like they've put it on their website as of yet. I just double check. It was supposed to go live at 7 p.m. local time. No, they're still showing this one. That's okay. Sorry, it looks a bit weird. Hold on, let's refresh. All right, let's just watch this little bit. It's not going to show us the full thing, but
Exactly 2 weeks ago, we were just learning about the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers from Sumner County. Today, the search continues. The case, though, we know is now a criminal investigation. Thanks for being with us at 6, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Kelsey Gibson for Carrie tonight. For the first time, we are getting a look at family video of the missing 15-year-old. Sebastian's biological father gave it to Nick Beres during an exclusive on-camera interview.
Seth Rogers shares custody of his son, and the deputy with the Davidson County Sheriff's Department spent the past 2 weeks looking for Sebastian.
I'm hoping he's still alive. You know, that's my main hope right now, is that he's not deceased. I mean, I keep praying that he's alive. I keep praying that somebody's going to see him, that somebody's going to call 911.
Seth's 15-year-old son disappeared barefoot and with a flashlight from his mother and stepfather's home in Hendersonville either late on Sunday, March 3rd or early that Monday. Seth knows the key to finding his son may come from a tip. Several photographs have already been made public, and now he's released 2 video clips of Sebastian. In this first one, you see Sebastian up front on the left in yellow shorts, participating in a tug-of-war with fellow students.
And if you watch, he got swung around at the end like a little rag doll, and it's like, well, he gave it his best.
This second video shows Sebastian walking at his middle school graduation.
I was very proud of him. I mean, he successfully completed something.
Seth says his son, who is autistic, is not a wanderer. He finds it highly unlikely Sebastian would leave in the middle of the night barefoot, based on an experience his son had as a child.
He decided that he wanted to step into a mound of what he thought was dirt, and it was fire ants. And since then, it's always been, he doesn't like to get his feet in the dirt. He likes to have his socks and shoes on.
Seth won't rule out the possibility of foul play, that someone is involved in his son's disappearance. And if Sebastian is able, he says he needs to call for help.
He needs to call 911. And if somebody has him, you need to give him back. He's my son, and he doesn't belong to nobody, but damn it, he's mine. And he's mine.
Nick Beres, News Channel 5.
Today, authorities have named no suspects and say that all of Sebastian's parents continue to cooperate with the investigation.
okay, so I was on Nick Beres's Facebook, and he says, and I'll read it to you here. He says that is the interview. That's the full interview. He says he expedited the process and posted it there on the website so people could watch it before the Facebook Live at 7. They said there is, of course, much more to the interview that you can see here. I will share those additional details during the Facebook Live. There was a couple of interesting bits in there, like the fire ant story. I think that is quite telling. If everyone's been following along, that's traumatic for that child. And he did a live about 1 hour ago. He did a live, about an hour ago. He did 2. One was the latest on the search for missing Sebastian Rogers. He said he promised he'd do a Facebook Live update with any new information. He said he interviewed the biological dad, and that qualifies as new information. Yeah, and that's about it. But there you go. That was that little interview, new interview with the dad. I wanted to bring this up. Hey, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but SWAT could be I don't know. They say our problem is to expect police to do something for us. It's evident they do nothing. I know some people feel that way, and especially when they've been let down from police, I could see why you might think like that. I don't know if they're a troll, Annika. They might be, but they're entitled to their opinion. Now, where is Share Bear? Where are Saban's glasses? I have no idea. You mean Nick Saban? As in the football coach? I don't know. All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about Sebastian a bit more. It's interesting that it seems like a lot of the information has really slowed down now for Sebastian, and that's a real shame. It seems like last week, when the searches were a bit more ongoing or larger, that more of that information was sort of coming out every day, and it's sort of slowed now. And I hate that part of investigations because it feels like we're not going to get anywhere. But I'm sure that the police are working very hard to try find out where he is. I just wanted to see if there was an update on his Amber Alert. Here, actually. So it says here, it says father of missing autistic 15-year-old says he would never wander off alone. Sebastian, 15, vanished from his Tennessee home on the morning of the 26th of February. They say it's been 2 weeks since Sebastian Rogers vanished without a trace from his Tennessee home, and there's still no answer on where the teenager could be. Sebastian, who is autistic, is believed to have wandered off in the middle of the night barefoot and alone. According to his mother, Katie Proudfoot, and his stepfather, Chris, who say they last saw him when they put him to bed. When his mother went to wake him up for school on the morning of 26th of February, he was gone. But Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, says the teenager is not the type to just wander off on his own. He said here, in order for him to do something that's out of the normal, something would have had to happen that he felt like he just couldn't deal with it anymore. I found that quote quite interesting. That's the same one from the video we just watched. It says Sebastian's disappearance has gripped the hearts of everyone in Hendersonville, and from the moment the Amber Alert was issued, a massive search for the teenager was launched by Sumner County Sheriff's Office, which lasted about a week before it was scaled back as they transitioned to the investigative side of the case, with detectives adding they have no reason to believe Sebastian isn't alive. By the way, I saw this photo with the snake. Look at this. That's a large python. Is that what that is? A python snake? He's very brave, braver than me. I wouldn't let the snake sit on me like that. Never. It says here, days later, authorities combed a landfill in Kentucky where the trash from Sebastian's neighborhood ended up, but no leads or evidence were found. But his father believes there are missing pieces to the puzzle. With the information that I've gotten from Sumner County and the TBI, and the fact that dogs aren't 100%, they're not picking up his scent. One dog tracked him to a construction area over there, and it just disappeared, and it's confusing. There's missing pieces to the puzzle, and I'm having difficulty solving this. That was from his biological father, Seth. I found that one interesting. One dog tracked him to a construction area over there, and it just disappeared, and it's confusing. So I don't understand how that works, but it says Mr. Rogers added, it makes absolutely no sense. There's been no trace of him. I'm hoping he's still alive. That's my main hope right now. I think we all hope that Sebastian is alive somewhere. I hope that. I'm sure people in the chat do. We'd rather have a child found safe, just needing a good meal and a whole bunch of water than the other part, the other way. We don't want the other one. Danye, hey Danye. He's alleged, not believed to disappear. Well, that's what the story says. Hey Emily Narb, good to see you. Danny says, not a Snake fan. Not a Snake fan? Fair enough. I'm not a Snake fan either. Yeah, all I can say is I hope we're going to get some sort of break in the case for Sebastian over the next couple of days. We'll start hearing something like they have a lead, they're looking in this direction, they went here today, there was something, a focus over here. That's what I really want to see. I really want to see a bit more movement in the case. It gets concerning when you start not getting any of that daily traction, and I don't think we've really seen that recently. Sorry, I'm just scrubbing through something and having a look. Yeah, I don't see anything new in the last 24 hours. A lot of people online suspecting that we're not being told the whole story about Sebastian, or we're not being told exactly what's going on. Someone sent me a bit of someone sent me a bit of a heads up yesterday about something to do with Sebastian, but I don't want to out who that person was. But someone said I should go and check out Sebastian's stepfather's Facebook page, and that there was lack of information on that page, and that some of the things on that page don't add up. But I can't verify a lot of it, and I don't want to be a person who just posts that type of stuff and then just doing it for clicks, if that makes sense. I don't want to do that. So there are people looking into things in the background. Gambler says, if everything was so good between mum and stepfather, I'm a bit surprised not to see them united in doing an interview together. That is interesting. That is interesting that when they did the original interview with the stepfather and the biological mother who Sebastian lives with, it was interesting that at that point they were very like, yes, he has a real father, but he's sort of over here. Like, do you know what I mean? They were like, yes, Sebastian lives here with us, and his stepfather's like over here somewhere. It was a little, I thought that was a little odd. I thought that was a bit strange. They were very much standoffish about talking about the uh, the biological father, but maybe that's just being respectful. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't want to speak on his behalf. But Gambler says, what else did he say? I'm a bit surprised not to see them do a united interview. Me, you even if you're on a friendly term with an ex-wife because you co-parent a child, it doesn't mean that you're friends, and it doesn't mean that even if your child went missing, maybe you don't like being together. Like, you don't like being in close proximity for a really long time. I know that sounds really childish, but sometimes these breakups are difficult, even if they say it was, mutual, or we have a great relationship now. You never know, and we don't know a lot about their background in their separation. I haven't seen a lot about it, just that they did. So there was a sad update on Renton, Washington woman Reina Hernandez 5 hours ago. Yes, we were getting to that. Wait, Reina Hernandez. Didn't we talk about her the other day? Hold on. I had a different update. Now I'm confused. Man, I'm so confused. I know that we saw this woman. Oh, she's the lady from the salon. The lady from the salon. Oh, no. I miss this. I had actually been searching today for, uh, do you guys remember Anna? Anna, is it Kenovich? Yeah, Kenovich, who went missing in Spain. I was trying to do more research on Anna today because it's been about a month since Anna went missing in Spain. She's a woman, she's actually from Florida, had recently moved to Spain she just divorced her husband. Her husband moved back to Serbia, and I'd been doing a lot of research on her today, and I must have missed this, but that's really horrible. Here, I'll show you. Missing Renton woman found dead in Mexico, suspect in custody. This may be why police last week wouldn't give any details about that house. If you guys remember, she went to a house. It was the last point she'd been seen, and she knew people in that property. We spoke about her a couple of times last week. It says the body of missing Renton woman was found in Mexico last week. That's why the cops wouldn't talk. Authorities confirmed Monday, and a suspect is already in custody across the border. Renton police say 54-year-old Reina Hernandez who went missing from her home in South Renton on February 26, was found dead near Mexicali on March 8th. Mexicali is the capital of Baja California, and is situated near Tijuana, right across the US-Mexico border. According to Renton police, detectives were directed to a news article from Mexicali reporting an unidentified body found in a cemetery on the Tijuana highway. They reached out to Mexican authorities and were able to identify the body as that of Hernandez. A 61-year-old suspect from Renton was arrested on unrelated charges. Renton police say they are the suspect in this case. Authorities confirmed there were signs of torture, saying Hernandez was bound at the hands and feet and shot in the head and wrapped in a blanket. They're saying this is the worst possible outcome, and our hearts go out to Reina's family. We are working closely with the Mexicali police and our U.S. federal partners to determine when and where Reina died. It says Hernandez has not been seen since February 26, and her friends reported her missing on February 28th when she did not return home from running errands. Authorities say once Hernandez's time and manner of death are confirmed, they can determine where she was killed. If evidence shows she was killed in the US, Renton police say they will ask for the suspect to be extradited for trial in the States. Wow, what a horrible conclusion to that. Last week they were saying they knew her last place, like the last place she was at was that house in Renton after she was doing errands. But they wouldn't say anything else, and they wouldn't say what they found with the search warrant on that property. But it seems like they may have had an idea of what happened to her. They just didn't know where she went. Let's watch this video about her.
Well, a devastating end to the search for a missing woman. Renton detectives say the body of 54-year-old Reina Hernandez have been found in Mexico.
Hernandez was reported missing last month after she didn't return home from running errands and didn't open her small business there. On Friday, Renton detectives were alerted to a news article in Mexicali, Mexico about an unidentified body found there. They say they've been able to confirm this was the body of Hernandez.
Detectives believe her death is tied to a domestic violence situation. The suspect in this investigation was arrested by Mexican authorities on an unrelated charge. He is a 61-year-old from Renton. The detectives say if Hernandez was killed here in the U.S., authorities will seek to extradite that suspect.
Horrible update. That's not what I was hoping for with that one. That's
And you know, there's a new
not good.
retreat that is offering.
Hey, that is not the conclusion of that I was hoping for. I was hoping she was alive somewhere, but I know they said last week they were worried that she was already harmed, that someone had harmed her. That's not good. And let me see if I can find any more information on this. Da, da, da. That's interesting. Hmm. There's some additional details of the Reina Hernandez case, but I can't verify this, and I don't want to. Just be careful if you're looking up this particular case of Reina. There is some other information floating about. I don't want to be seen as someone who outs someone in the, you know, different, people who have different alternative lifestyles or are part of different, you know, they might be gay or lesbian or intersex or something like that. I don't want to be someone who's known for doing stuff like that, like, embarrassing them or outing them to the public or something. But there is some other information floating about. We have to wait for police on that because I hadn't seen that on any of the updates or, stuff like that. So just be careful when you're searching around if you're going to go do your own research on this. Yeah, because that was the last update. This was the last update we had. Here, I'll show you. This was the last one. Washington hair salon owner disappeared last month. Police believe she's been kidnapped. So we knew she'd been abducted, and now we know what happened to her. But I'm just double checking this to see if that information's in here at all. No, it's not. Okay, there you go. Well, that's a tragic, very tragic end to that story. Hopefully they can get her killer back into the US. That would be great. All people are welcome here. That's right. Even people who identify as octopus, they are welcome. Actually, I really like the people who identify as octopus. They can hang out here all they want. Cheryl says Mexicali is about 11 and a, well, 1.5 hours from me, just over the border. Is it a bad place? Is it normally quite violent, Cheryl? What is going on? SWT says, not a troll, just personal experience. My SO got assaulted at school and the policeman convinced not to press charges. He told my son that he would be bullied more if he did so. That's, see, not the only person who was let down by police, and we need to change that so people are supported when they report a crime. Oh, that's very horrible. Not the update I wanted about Reina. Lula, hey Lula, says finally an octopi community. That's right. I'm the very first octopi-friendly true crime streamer. We take all people with octopi interpersonality here. Okay. Who's our fourth story? What did I have up here? Riley Strain, Carly. So there's some more information about Carly today as well. She's the lady who unfortunately killed her mother, and there was more information that got released. I'm going to bring it up. Is this the right one? Let me double check. No. Sorry, let me try again. Okay. So some of these messages got released, and I'm going to read you a bit here. It says, it's understood Pirronelli's family had desperately tried to obtain help for her, but they struggled to get her any assistance. Someone is quoted here, a neighbor is saying she had major mental health problems and they had been trying to get her into a facility. She'd been manic or psychotic over the past few weeks and had been trying to get her committed. It's so hard to have people committed, and now she's dead too. It's all very sad. A lot of these times people are just on their own. It's pretty scary. The neighbor claimed arguments echoing from the property significantly increased this year. She said once or twice I thought it was a bit worrying. This is a pretty quiet area, so it was obvious. I'm sure that when she was in a good place, she was a lovely daughter, but when you're psychotic, you're not in control. On Monday, chilling chilling text messages Pirronelli sent to her ex-partner Tyler Jackman emerged. The messages sent on January 31st explained she can't deal with things and that it had been the most dramatic last year for no reason. She said she finds it hard to even handle it because I'm not used to drama. It stresses me out bad. Pirronelli added she hadn't spoken to anyone for a long time. Mr. Jackman told news.com.au that Pirronelli did something terrible, but she was at breaking point, and I can't believe she's gone. So this is one of their messages. It says, nope, haven't blocked. Feel like so much games is going on I can't deal. Been the most dramatic last year for no reason. Find it hard to even handle it because I'm not used to drama. Stresses me out. And then she asked for his number. And then says, when you're free, give me a call. Haven't spoken to anyone for a really long time. And then the person replies, oh, sorry to hear. Well, if you want, we could catch up for a coffee sometime soon. I'm living at Redacted now. And then she says, I guess it's playing on my mind. So it looks like she had quite an internal struggle. So if you don't know what we're talking about, unfortunately, on Friday, police were called to a property in Melbourne where this lovely lady here, Joanne, was being stabbed by her daughter, Carly. And police asked Carly to drop the weapon, which was a knife. She refused, and the cop shot her and killed her as well. Unfortunately, her mum was already dead. And now more information is starting to come out on what kind of background Carly had. A lot of people have come out to defend her, actually. A lot of people said that she was a troubled woman who there was just a lot of people who really wanted to help her and get her to a good place. But unfortunately, it was just too late. They weren't able to get it done in time. And I'm trying to find, there was a bit about her. Apparently some friends had organized to help her, but it was supposed to be the day after on the Saturday. They had actually invited her over and were going to tell her how they were going to help her. I think she was even offered a place. She was going to be offered a place to live away from her mum, somewhere that she could get some help and, you know, have her own space. And unfortunately, everything took place about 18 hours before that dinner was supposed to take place where they were going to tell her. So she was about a day away from having a different opportunity to get better and have a different place to live, unfortunately. Reby says, bloody daylight savings, us Queenslanders don't believe in it. Oh, it's been a bit weird for me. I'm not used to going on at 1 o'clock. Sorry, midday. It's very early. It's like 1 now down here. And I feel like I'm about to go and do the live stream right now. Laura says it's so tragic. It really is. We do need to look into what was missed, what could we do better, and how that family could have been supported better. Because this didn't need to happen. Her mum didn't need to die, nor did Carly. Carly didn't need to die either. Neither of them did, and it should probably have never have got to this point. It should have been dealt with years ago. Like if she needed to be like kept in a facility for a while to get her mental health back on track or whatever, then that's what should have happened. She shouldn't have been just allowed to sit and stew and let her own devices take control. And unfortunately, that looks like what has happened here. Neighbors reported many arguments coming from the house, including threats to stab and set on fire to her mother. Apparently, she always threatened that, and this time it finally happened. Yeah, really tragic. But it was nice to see a lot of people did come out to support both Carly and her mum, Joanne. A lot of people came out and said they were good people. And, you know, close people said they really did want to help. It just didn't happen in time, which is very sad. All right, I want to talk about this very quickly. We don't have much time left, unfortunately. I really do want to cover this, so give me 1 second. By the way, I would like to thank Moonlight View. Moonlight View sent in a donation the other night after the show ended, and she left a very sweet message. So thank you, Moonlight. That's, we're supposed to try and pay you something, not the other way around. And I would also like to thank Sean and Julie. Julie, that is very sweet of you. Very, very kind. So all three of you, that is very helpful. I appreciate it. So it helps a lot with the channel. It really does. Let me do this story before we go tonight. There will be a late show today, so hang around after Trish, and you'll come back and we'll talk more cases, including Anna Kenovic, or Kanovics, or whatever her name is. We'll do more about that. The missing woman from Florida who was in Spain. We'll talk a bit more about her in the late show. So it says Boeing whistleblower John Barnett is found dead in his truck outside a South Carolina hotel just days after testifying in lawsuit against the aviation giant. It says John Barnett, 62, was found dead in his truck in a hotel parking lot on Saturday. Cops made the announcement Monday, saying he was in Charleston for the suit. The ex-quality manager at Boeing's North Charleston plant gave a deposition to Boeing as recently as last week after claiming they were using second-rate parts. A former Boeing staffer who once raised concerns about the company's production standards has been found dead in the US. And they're saying that he was an ex-quality manager at Boeing's North Charleston plant, died from a self-inflicted wound. Cops in Charleston said, adding they were still investigating the death. Barnett's death came during a break in depositions in a whistleblower retaliation suit where he alleged under pressure workers were deliberately fitting substandard parts to aircraft on the assembly line. He said that in some cases, second-rate parts were literally removed from scrap bins before being fitted to planes that were being built to prevent delays. A 2017 review by the FAA upheld some of his concerns, requiring Boeing to take action. He had just given a deposition to Boeing's lawyers for the case this past week. And he winds up dead in a hotel parking lot in South Carolina. A lot of people think this is very suspicious. A man who stood up for workers and safety found dead in a parking lot. That is a bit weird after he just gave his deposition last week. In an email, he called his client's death tragic. This is coming from his lawyer. Today is a tragic day, revealing that Barnett was supposed to do day 3 of his deposition here in Charleston on his Air 21 case on Saturday, referring to the federal law that provides whistleblowers protection in the aviation industry. John had been back and forth for quite some time getting prepared, he said. The defense examined him for their allowed 7 hours under the rules on Thursday. I cross-examined him all day yesterday on Friday and did not finish. We agreed to continue this morning at 10 a.m. Rob, co-counsel Rob, kept calling his phone this morning and the phone would go to voicemail. We then asked the hotel to check on him. They found him in his truck dead from an alleged self-inflicted gunshot. We drove to the hotel and spoke with police and the coroner. Very, very suspicious. So a man who could bring down a massive company, Boeing, over safety concerns, magically winds up dead in his hotel parking lot. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it seems awfully convenient that the guy who's a big pain in your butt just winds up not being living anymore. And this company is billions and billions of dollars. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Seems a bit odd. I mean, I'm not one of these people who sits here and talks about Epstein and how it was all a big cover up and things like that, but I don't know. Seems a bit odd when it seems like he was being protected under the Whistleblower Act, and he seemed to be doing all right in his depositions. Good night, Diamond. Thanks, my friend. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Yeah, including there was one in Australia last night. A plane fell from the sky. It just fell, and 50 people were injured after they hit the roof of the aeroplane. The plane just fell from the sky for about 5 seconds, and everyone went from the floor to the roof and then back to the floor again in like a few seconds. Very scary, and that was a Boeing aircraft as well. Interesting because the Aussie trying to probe the Malaysian government and Australian government for hiding MH360 info went missing too. Did he? Oh, that's a bit weird. Reby says very fishy. Yes, lots of fish. Yes, very odd. We've had a lot recently. All right, guys, I'm gonna start winding up here for the night. But I will be back in about an hour and a half for the late show. Yep, we'll be back. We got 4 more stories for the late show. It'll be a really good show. So I hope you will pop back for the late show. I think some planes do. I don't know if like new ones have 1950s technology, but I'm guessing that there is some technology that just hasn't advanced and it still works like it did back in the 1950s. So while the actual application of that technology has probably become newer, they're probably still using the same method as back then, if that makes sense to you. Latham is a crappy airline, that is true. They are no Qantas, although Qantas has had its fair share of incidents when they used to have a spotless record. Back in the day, one of the things they always used to say was Qantas was the safest airline in the world. But once they moved their maintenance division out of Australia and then made it smaller, it's not been as world renowned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I really do appreciate you all. Thank you to all the new subscribers. We're trying to get to that 800. And if you haven't subscribed yet, well, what are you waiting for? Come and hang out with us every night. And if you think you are subscribed, please double check your subscription. Like Danny said, he ended up unsubscribed for no reason. And I don't want to see that happen to people that we like. We want to see them here each night. So, yep, I think that's it for tonight. But if you're going to stay up late, come back for the late show. Breaking news happens in Australia at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we may have some more stories to go through by the time we get back in about an hour and a half. And we're going to talk about Anna. I want to keep on top of that one because it seems like everything went very quiet. I haven't heard much about it. Have you? I haven't either. So, and then we had a shooting in Melbourne, and it may have mafia links. We'll talk about that on the late show. A mafia figure may have been shot and killed in Melbourne. Sean says, I upgraded to first class for $55 on Latham. That's a very cheap first class. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I love you all. I love you all. It's the beginning of a new week. It's going to be a great week of true crime, okay? Keep subscribed and keep listening to Nights with Ping. See you later, everyone. See you in an hour and a half. Bye. Bye-bye.